I have in studio today Mr. D.R. Joshi from Bombay, and there is me and D.R. go long way. I also have another eminent faculty with me, Mr. Sai Patro, who is the chairman of Mudial Pharmaceuticals, who has been in this journey for a long time. Before I hand over the proceedings today to Mr. D.R. Joshi, he will be interviewing Mr. Iyer from Kandivali in his neighborhood, and the show is hosted here in Canada. That is how the technologies work. Today's introduction will not be complete if I do not introduce Mr. D.R. Joshi to my August gathering. Of course, Mr. Iyer is a pragmatic faculty who will embolden all of us, but me and D.R. go long way. It's an emotional bond of years and decades. He is the man who not only helped me, but who coached me to walk the life. He was the man who handpicked me from quality assurance to marketing and deputed me to Kerala, and that was the turning point of my professional career. I firmly believe that today the auspicious presence of Mr. D.R. Joshi will not only raise the bar of the program, but will bless all of us today. Mr. D.R., may I please request you to kindly initiate the interview today with our faculty of the day, Mr. Ganesh Iyer.
Wellness is a new subject and new business, new thought, not only for India, it's and for entire world. So I feel, dear, you can continue with that, and I want to hear more from Mr. Ganesh.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, I think doctors are really eager to listen to you, Ganesh, because it's your novel idea and you have been working on it. So I would not squeeze any minute of yours. Please. If you elaborate, I think we will have definitely a positive and object-oriented interactions.
Sure. So let's start with the most common word in India. Okay. Of course, it's also used globally. Lifestyle diseases. And then there are some scary terminologies like diabetes, blood pressure, which is now more technically used thanks to the insurance industry as hypertension, which was not very commonly used earlier among common men. Obesity, sleep disorders, high cholesterol levels. I have got stress problem. I have seen so many young people dying at the age of 28, 29, 30. Unfortunately, in the last 1 year, I had few of my own team members who passed away. And it's a very sad state of affair. Reasons are multiple. Reasons could be any of these lifestyle diseases. And as I said, lifestyle diseases, what does it mean? What exactly is a lifestyle disease? Is it an ailment? Is it a problem? Does it require a treatment or does it require a program? So, because lifestyle diseases do not just affect your physical health, it also affects your mental health. It also affects your emotional health. And that's where everything depends, because your normal life, your focus at work gets significantly affected. And I think that's what we would like to start off with, saying lifestyle choices, what the habits which you have, let's say smoking, drinking, etc. Okay, and that's where when we talk about insurance policies, when they ask you 1,000 questions and then they are not able to issue policies because of your lifestyle problems, that's where the wellness problem starts. So do you really have a wellness? So we, of course, in insurance, we use health insurance, use the word morbidity, and life insurance uses the word mortality. I want to go beyond that. I don't think insurance is the first thing, because insurance comes into effect, the claim part, only when damage is done. And we all heard about something called precaution is better than cure. Prevention is better than cure. So can we talk about prevention and precaution at this stage rather than talking about an insurance claim? And that's where I want the industry, the pharma, medico industry, the doctor wellness industry, the diagnostic industry, the health insurance industry, life insurance industry, to come sit together on this. And that's the business solution I'm talking about. There's nothing ready-made available. Nobody in the globe is totally integrated in this factor. Why can't we sit together and decide as to how do we create an integrated program? And that's the start of this, DR.
I agree with you totally, and I was really carefully listening your word. Health is wealth, but I slightly disagree to agree here. Health is much beyond wealth, my dear friend, and the challenges that developed and developing and underdeveloped countries are facing for wellness or good health, the gap is very wide at the first place. And you will agree that change is the only permanent thing across the globe. Ever since I started my career in pharma industry, I'm in listing lifestyle disease, diabetic and hypertension. At the most, it accesses to cancer. We have been struggling treating this symptom control and all. I'm glad that you touched upon very sensitive code of mental and mental health. Now, you see, for underdeveloped and developing countries, I would use a one term which is termed as financial health. And the financial health, which can be taken much better care with your thinking of amalgamating or bringing the financial instrument, people, help people, and or other allied people together to ensure that, and it will really work. I think that's a very good idea. Now, coming to mental health, now you see, you touched upon good food, qualitative and quantitative. I agree that what you eat through your eye, all five senses organs, maybe not only through mouth, through eyes, touch, hearing, everything contributes towards your building of mental health. And this mental health always helps people to really overcome this lifestyle disease or to combat or fight more effectively these lifestyle diseases, honestly speaking. And those who have been practicing, adhering to what you mentioned, like food, timing of sleeping, pattern of sleeping, quantity of eating the food, exercises, aerobic exercises, anaerobic exercises, whether his all excretory systems, right from urination, stool, and sweat, are in order, which will definitely, if these are being reduced automatically, if you control morbidity, the mortality rate will obviously go down. But if you look at the figures, the number of people dying because of coronary artery diseases and diabetes, I mean, just bringing down figure from 45 to 44 or 42, have we combat those diseases and challenges is to be addressed largely.
Correct.
And we have to focus also upon, boss, how we can really improve, because see, they're life-threatening diseases. And today, because profit and monetary gains have become focus of all the industries. I'm not touching upon our industry because I'm definitely having an affection towards our industries. But I mean, human life is more important. And if we cannot really give them, right, yes, there are so many modules you have in mind, which you can spell out. If yes, what on priority basis needs to be addressed and done so that our people will get a benefit out of your amalgamatic or integrated idea.
Correct.
Because mere mathematical figures may not help us, sir.
That's true. So I say let's not go into the statistical part of it, the numbers, etc. As you rightly, the mortality rate, morbidity rate. I don't want to go into that because we also have common men who needs to understand what it is. So let me put it like this. Whatever you said is absolutely right, dear. So, so let's start with, let's say, what should be a good wellness program. So apart from a good improved physical fitness, okay, which is required. I'm using the word physical fitness. I'm not talking about weight loss, dieting, good food, etc. Physical fitness is head to toe, period. Apart from that, that is only one part of it. You need to reduce your stress levels. You need to reduce your tension levels, anxiety levels, depression levels. The young age people are moving into depression at the age of 10 and 12 these days, which needs to be addressed. Then when we talk about uh, fitness, it's not just the body, it's also the mind. So your focus level of working, concentrations, how do we create that? How do we improve the quality of our life? Then as you rightly said, sleep, etc. is very required. Then on the work front, are you able to boost your productivity? Are you able to reach your office daily on time? That means I'm talking about less absenteeism and attrition levels. Why is it that people talk about work-life balance every day in office? There's something seriously wrong, both with the employee as well as the employer. How do we improve and enhance the employee engagement? Okay, create a work satisfaction index. So when we talk about all these things, it becomes a cycle because what happens is the corporate employer, in order to engage his employee or try to bring in wellness as per his terms, what they do is they try to spend some money, and sometimes this some money is huge, on diagnostic factors, saying that okay, annual health checkup will be done for you at our cost, which could be anywhere between 3,000 rupees to 30,000 rupees, depending on what levels of test you want to do. Okay, but then does it really serve your purpose? Because you're going to diagnose. What about prognosis? Like insurance industry talks about prognosis. That's one part. And second part is what happens after you're diagnosed? After you're diagnosed, what are you going to do with it? How are you going to take care of it? That's the problem. So a good wellness program, I will summarize, is like a healthy mind in a healthy body. So as you rightly said, I said that from childhood I've been hearing health is wealth. But now I don't want to talk about wealth because according to me, wealth comes on its own if your health is in place. Okay. And what is wealth required for? If your health is going to be spoiled and you're going to spend on it. So if you've got a healthy mind in a healthy body, I think everything follows. So if you want to have a healthy body, you need to do steps 1, 2, 3 for the physical fitness. If you want a healthy mind, you need lots of things to take care of your mental health, which is about your work-life balance, your focus levels of concentration on this thing, your stress level management, meditation, yoga, etc. So you ask me, wellness program work? It needs to work on your mind and your body both. Okay, and somehow I have been a great fan of traditional India, the traditional food Indians eat, the traditional methods of various things we have. Unfortunately, we ourselves have forgotten and we do not know why do we follow something. Like if we eat food on a banana leaf, why is it like that? Why is it that there are 12 or 13 different types of stuff on the banana leaf? Everything has got a different value, which we call as proteins, carbohydrates, minerals, etc., which is defined. Okay, and then afterwards, we go back to basics and say, oh, you need to have this much level of proteins in your food, you must have this much level of carbohydrates, boss. This all existed. What is Ayurveda all about? What is Mahabharata all about? So if you look at all these factors, you will realize that Ayurveda, Mahabharata, yoga, all these things actually talk on the mind and body of yours. And if you really combine it properly, you will realize what is right to eat food. Like when you talk about the principle of eating raws, the raw food, there is a logic to it because the animals eat raw food. The old, when we were born, when cooking was not there, we used to eat raw food. So our body is based from, and we have been transforming ourselves. Okay. Of course, I'm not saying that you should eat only raw food. We have transformed ourselves and we can successfully live like that. When we talk about yoga, there's a way to do it. When we talk about Ayurveda, then when we talk about intermittent fasting these days, it has got a logic. Why 12 hours, 14 hours, 16 hours, whatever. According to me, time factor doesn't matter. But what fails in all these programs is what suits me will not suit you.
Exactly.
The wellness program people need to understand is that what suits you will not suit me. What worked on you did not work on me. A 16-hour intermittent fasting can work on you. A 12 hours is good enough for me. I need not eat raw food, but the quantity, the quality, the body levels, because every metabolic thing, metabolism of every person is different. Is a doctor involved in a wellness program? If a dietitian is there, dietitian understands your body, but does he understand the anatomy from a scientific medicine point of view? If a doctor is looking at you, does he understand how the body reacts to various things? Person who escorts you on your exercise, does he understand your body medically and otherwise? He's just asking you to put on weight in some way. So the problem is there is no combination. And of course, then there is the wellness industry coming and talking something, the diagnostic people coming and talking about annual health checkups. Then there are doctors. There are so many different industries talking about it. And this is where my worry starts. Why are we all not talking together as an industry, as an integrated body? So can we have one business solution? I am using the word business because sometime back you used the word business commercial angle. And let's be practical. I think anybody who is listening, apart from a common man who's listening from a knowledge point of view, if there are other business people interested in this conversation, they are not just listening it for a gyan or for a knowledge. Obviously, they are looking it
Absolutely.
for their business. In childhood, we heard the story of the hare and the tortoise, right?
Yes.
And the moral of the story was the hare went off to sleep because it was overconfident and the tortoise won the race. And moral of the story was slow and steady wins the race. Okay. Now let's extend it further. Now the hare, after losing, obviously it's not going to live like that. It goes back to the tortoise, says, because it feels an egoistic feeling, how can I lose in front of a tortoise? So it goes back to the tortoise and says, okay, now let's do it again. And now it's learned from its mistake. So what does it do? It doesn't go off to sleep. And there's no way the tortoise is going to win. So hare wins. Now it's going to, on a victorious mode, it says, see boss, the powerful always wins. Now the tortoise feels bad that it's lost. It also has an ego. So it goes back and tells the hare, come on, let's do it again. Hare is surprised. He says, do you really want to race with me? Are you sure? It says, yes. But only difference is we'll change the rules of the game. We will change the path. I will decide the path. And the hare says, fine, I don't care, I can do it. Now the tortoise has just done a simple route change. It creates a road in the path, then some little water, and again road. Now what happens? Hare runs fast, reaches the water, it doesn't know what to do. The tortoise reaches there, it can easily swim through, it wins again. So the hare is surprised, oh, change of route can affect me, this is transformation. So now it feels bad. Then it goes back again, says, can we have the race again? Then both of them are now matured from their learning. They said, hey, why are we competing? And what are we competing for? Why don't we have an integrated race program? And let's call it collaborative program, okay? It says that on the same route, both of us will win. And if you read the book 7 Habits, it talks about the win-win situation. So can we create the win-win situation? And yes. So now what they do is the turtle sits on the back of the hare. Hare runs to the water. They reach fast. Then it switches over. Hare sits on the turtle swims fast and back. And both of them are faster than the earlier times and they win. So that's life, that's collaboration. Can we do it? Can the pharma industry? Can the wellness industry? Can the diagnostic centers? Then the medical equipment industry. Yeah, I'll come back to that also. Why medical equipment industry? The health insurance industry, the life insurance. In fact, it's sad to see even the health and the life insurance industry are not together on most counts. Why can't all of us be together? We can create a program. And why not? Why disorient yourself or disregard the original alternate medicine solutions which are like yoga, like Ayurveda and the yoga, etc. They are all available. So why not have an integrated program? That's my view. And of course, now we can take the discussion further if you have any question on how it can be done.
There are no two opinions, Ganesh, regarding what you said. But then, yes, how we go. Because see, the building awareness and knowledge also has to be raised at a first level. Because without going to school, I cannot become chartered accountant like you. So what I'm trying to impress upon is there is a very, my experience is of late years diabetes, hypertension, and cancer. Collaboratively, insurance companies, pharma industries, doctors have enlightened people to greater extent. But then we have to, as a well-wisher or in a wellness business, people have to foresee the future challenges. The future challenges, according to me, are of two types. See, if you see right from journey of antimicrobial to antihypertensive drug, anti-diabetic drugs, all symptom relief, but no curative for the disease. As far as financial instrument people are concerned, they delete these diseases from the normal life coverage on calculation of morbidity, mortality, and lastly but not least, they introduce a separate plan for each disease. So my dear friend, our forthcoming generation right now are being exposed to almost 40 vaccines. Now for every disease, do you mean to say mankind has to go for was vaccines? Rather than that, see, one aspect is definitely controlling symptoms, which will provide a lot of relief to people. But now, what are those situations like food, exercise, as you emphasized adequately or more than adequately, I would say? Yes, there are, if awareness is being built in, and then there are futuristic disease which I want to spell out here, my dear friend, is today in our country we may not realize, but for all that practical purpose, in US and Canada, virtually every family has a one patient who is suffering from Alzheimer's, and that disease also weakens the mental, physical, and financial health of every single who is involved. Here, the only patient is not sufferer, the entire family or caretakers are being. Then, if such industries comes, I would go to one extent, besides only having collaborative or holistic approach to this. See, if you look at, I like that plantain leaf food, you have emphasized the Indian Sanskriti. But remember, on one hand, we emphasize on having a food on plantain leaf. Other hand, old age homes are increasing. And Alzheimer's also is going up. And this is, perhaps according to me, is an end result of isolated life and nuclear family. I mean, the experts can throw light on this. Yes. And before I conclude anything, Ganesh, I have really a lot of inquisitiveness to understand. See, whatever I learned in school, you given your company's name is Pro Risk Business Solution. Understand, I have no question on business and solution, but Pro Risk. Now it's quite interesting. Believe me, first of all, risk itself is uncertain. Uncertainty is involved in risk. Now, what you are talking is providing a protection before the risk comes. Is really a novel and a very convincing idea. So I heartily congratulate you on this note.
Thank you, sir. Okay, before we go on to something which I was going to answer your thing, pro risk, let me talk about it. When I talk about pro risk, when I moved out of my corporate world and started this company, Pro Risk, even my first entity, Pro Risk Business Consultancy Services, was Pro Risk. Pro Risk, when I started the thought process, one, I am in this world where risk is inevitable. And unfortunately or fortunately, I'm in the insurance industry, which is only about risk. So if risk is inevitable, then why avoid risk? Why not be pro risk? That is one part. Why run away from it? Two, if you know your risk is there, and if you can't be anti-risk or avoid risk, then why not be proactive about it?
Absolutely.
And third one is, I wanted to be absolutely professional on this part. So that is where the pro risk comes in. Okay. So that's where the consultant.
Wonderful, Ganesh. Please stay with your commitment. I really appreciate it. from
Thank you,
bottom of my
sir.
heart.
So that's where the pro-risk consultancy starts. To consultancy to somebody. Can we now do a proactive business solution in some way? Business solution would mean it can be in any solution, a need itself. And that's where this entire white paper comes on this piece. So coming back to this point, you spoke about anti-hypertensive, anti-diabetic. My friend Mr. Sai Sudha Patra will hit me into the camera if I talk anything about against the pharma industry.
Continue. I have a very good, nice question for you after this conversation.
Great.
Sure. So
You
basically,
can ask right now also, no issue. But Patro,
yeah. So what I was trying to say, dear, over here is that we are talking about anti. That means these are all post facto, and I am talking about proactive. I'm talking about prevention is better
absolutely.
than cure. So, can you avoid these ailments rather than managing them? Okay.
Yes.
So of course, I'm not going to advise saying that let's start a new type of drugs to avoid problems. So while
Agree.
the pharma industry is not going to go anywhere, it will remain. But the question is, can we integrate it in a better manner? For example, when we talk about a wellness flow program, has a flavor of how to go about it. So first thing starts with a diagnostic assessment of a body qualitatively and not quantitatively. I'm being very specific, not quantitatively. Do not give me a battery of tests and say, boss, I done a 30,000 rupees blood test and MRIs and X-rays. Is it really going to help you? I do not know. Half of them may not even be able to diagnose any of your problems. So if you do a diagnostic assessment qualitatively, the right type of test for the right type of assessments, that's where the diagnostic industry comes into play. Then, now that you are aware of your diagnostic assessment, you know where you stand, then you need a doctor consultancy. So that's where the medical industry comes into picture, where a doctor rightly advises, okay, you are in the red, amber, or green. So what do we need to do? If you're in green, you need to do 1, 2, 3. If you're in amber, you need to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus a medicine. That's for avoiding and maintenance. And if you're already in red, then you need to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and a lot more on the medicine front and other areas. Once the doctor consultancy is over, you need a health risk analysis completely, where you do a complete risk of the health, not just medically. It's medically, physically, mentally, emotionally, everything. And that's where a wellness person comes into picture who understands things in a better way. Then you understood everything, you're diagnosed, assessed. What next? How are you going to do a post health diagnostic care? That is where the various programs come into picture. That is where the pharma industries will come into picture. And God forsaken, if that needs a medical equipment, okay, you may need those. Like a medical equipment need not always big thing. It can be start with a small thing like a diabetes check. It can be like a blood pressure check equipment also. So that's where this industry comes into picture. Then work on the mental state. That is where the right food, the yoga, the Ayurveda, and other things, the physical exercise, etc., comes into picture. And regular monitoring. That's where again a wellness guy comes into picture. Maintenance, and again all these industries taken together come into picture. This is what I believe is a wellness program. This is what I believe is an integrated program where collaboratively all of us work together, and there is no competition. Everybody has its own space. Like a country like India itself has 130 crore people. So even 100 companies in each of these sectors won't matter at all. And when we talk about globally, of course, we have got the big MNCs in India as well on the pharmacy side as well as the medical equipment side as well. So there's a lot of play available. So can we join hands? And if any of the professionals from this industry is listening, I would like to just scratch your brains on this part and say, think it over, and maybe we can talk over it. How do we attack this problem proactively? So let's not wait for a problem. Let's not create a non-existing problem and say, okay, there's a problem existing. And I have not yet spoken about the health insurance and the life insurance yet. So if all these industries are playing their roles very well, and if an health insurance is also playing its role, what happens? Because they're also part of the integrated society. The life insurance is also there. So what happens? your morbidity is taken care of. If your morbidity is taken care of, your claims are postponed or avoided. Is that not income? Like a rupee saved, a penny saved is a penny earned, a rupee earned. So that's an indirect income for health insurance companies. That will bring down the cost. So similarly, if the morbidity is improved, sometime back you rightly said, dear, that mortality is taken care of. Why is it that our ancestors used to live beyond 90, 85, 90 was normal, and why is it that people die at 40 today? That's something to be thought through. So if we have this thing in place, there are the medical equipment companies, the pharma companies are spending billions of dollars or at least millions of dollars on research. So if all of us come together and come together in a wellness program, which is right from birth till death, which includes health insurance and life insurance also apart from other things, what happens? All of us are contributing money equally and the cycle is much better. So let's look at it. The research cost could be probably 1/10 of what you're spending today, and still you may make revenue out of other things because you have a revenue at a larger scale because the cycle is more complete. You know where the things are because the program is going to tell you globally this person is going to be born. Okay, I'm talking about going to be born, and this person is likely to die. Of course, we don't know the death. So in the entire cycle, how it works. So maybe I can elaborate this with an example if you permit. Okay. Let's say I am from the insurance industry, okay, and I have been heading underwriting and claims. And the best thing an insurance guy talks about, an underwriting guy and a claims guy, is diabetes mellitus. Okay, diabetes. This is as popularly known in India, or it's more popularly known as the sugar problem. Okay, they say I got a sugar problem. It's a very interesting word. So I always believe it's such positive. So if diabetes is such a big problem, let's say we have an integrated wellness program and how it takes care of it, right from symptoms, identification, treatment, everything is there in the program, right? So if it is identified earlier and treated appropriately, where does it start with? Let's say the simplest thing is a metformin. Okay, then a medical equipment company is required to check the sugar levels regularly. Okay, convenience comes into picture with respect to the home visits, such as the getting the blood sugar levels done at the home. So that the delivery system, the supply chain mechanism comes into picture. So the pharmacy industry is into that role. Okay, the wellness programs are there. Then to maintain this thing, you need a doctor. Okay, and the probability of a well-maintained diabetic will ensure lower costs of hospitalization because hospitalization is not never because of diabetes in isolation. It's the impact, it's the outcome. The death is never because of diabetes in isolation. It's always the outcome of other factors which cause the death. So what happens, sir, in health insurance industry is actually avoiding claims. The life insurance industry is avoiding a claim or postponing a claim, let's say. So what is happening? If all these things are in a program, it's in a product, it's in one solution, all the industries are surviving and they're all working together. If another example could be, let's say, CAD, again, which you said, it's the most common factor, again, seen in the insurance industry. Same thing, look at a CAD. If the program is taking care of it right from the beginning, and if we can avoid a CAD, if we can identify it, avoid it, treat it, again the health industry claim goes down, life insurance claim gets deferred. So let's say a pharma company, medications like a sorbitrate, a beta blocker, an enzyme inhibitor, a vasodilator, etc. is there. So all these things are available before time. Of course, now there are hundreds of aggregators in this line. They are trying to do a lot, but are they really successful? I don't want to go into that debate right now. Everybody is trying their best on this, but if the program is there, and unfortunately in India we don't even have the proper centralized health records. So the program will take care of the health record also. Of course, now India is talking about Ayushman Bharat. So if the Ayushman Bharat team is listening, why can't we integrate this in their program? So what happens? We can look at it as a timely management of CAD patients. Automatically, the pharma industry, the supply chain mechanism, the medical equipment industry, the health insurance companies, everybody is in the loop, and we can actually run a cycle in a very effective manner. And that's what I call as a classic wellness program. And I'm not sure whether this exists anywhere in the globe in a complete integrated manner. Maybe you can correct me. Dr. Pranav Bhatt is there in Canada, Sai Sudha is there in India as well as that part of the world. So you can say we have always, of course, we know that it exists in isolation, bits and pieces. Can we integrate it? Does it make sense? I throw open the quote over here. If you ask me, do I have a solution right now? Sorry, I don't have it. But yes, can we think through? I'm confident we can. And I will be happy to take a lead in this. So,
Ganesh, I'm really glad that you have cleared all the doubts, starting from whether the wellness is a product or a program. So convincingly, you have communicated your message that yes, it is an integrated program which needs to be followed. Now, one or two points which I would like to add with your, though you have covered and touched upon, the in absence of stressometer, the stress levels and work-life balance imbalance, I would use the word imbalance, creates a lot of stress and a lot of other problems. But I've been exposed to one program, like you have suggested one, meditation. Meditation never reduces your stress, my dear friend, but it makes you capable to combat any stress. And this is my experience. And very interestingly, you have mentioned if the level of satisfaction comes, then the stress is automatically under control. And for which, yes, the program, integrated program, as you rightly suggested, should come. I would use a word of caution for all the industry. Everybody loves money. I love money, you love money, grammar people teach. I would sum up with Dhirubhai Ambani's one statement, which I was going through. See, basically, help is always very expensive gift. So don't expect that it will come from everyone, because very few are with a rich heart. So in your program, what I see, of course, you are determined. First of all, you have a clarity, you are determined, and now what is only left is to put it in action. Because ultimately the results are being delivered only when you complete those things. And the rewards comes to those. Remember that not for what you have received already, but the rewards will come to you always, which will be honored with in a greater magnitude. So with this, I think you have covered it very well. And any take-home message, Saib or Ganesh, you would like to conclude with what Ganesh.
I have a question also.
I have only one question.
Please.
Yeah.
Mr. Ganesh covered all the points, but I have one question. How he will connect wellness to fintech?
Okay. Fintech is again a platform. It's not separate. It's a media. And today, let me tell you, without a fintech, ideally, most of the things are not going to work. Whether it's the financial institution, like a banking industry or a credit industry, or an insurance industry, or a wellness industry, without a fintech, it will not work. If we are to reach, even if we talk only about country like India, forget the world, with 130 crore people, how do you expect even a Ayushman Bharat to reach? It may reach, but will it serve all the purposes? It will be a question mark. Of course, even fintech is being used over there. Government is doing a great job over there as well. But fintech is a part of the program. So as I said, wellness is a program. It's a It's not just a word so loosely we are using it. It is a complete program. It has to be a part of it, not to be seen in isolation. Today, if you look at it, fintech is also existing somewhere in isolation. In fact, the other day I was talking to DR, and I said my biggest worry today is if everybody is going to start an IT company and going to become an aggregator. Sorry, boss, who is going to be a manufacturer and who is going to be a supplier? Who is going to be a distributor? Because fintech as a platform cannot distribute, so cannot manufacture. So what is happening is everybody says, "Oh, I'm an aggregator. I don't have a liability. I'm an IT company. I don't run cabs, so I'm not responsible for the cab." But as a common man, after some point of time, I have forgot. I don't know the cab driver's name. I just know the cab company's name, and I say, "Boss, this is a cab," and I'm going to hold him responsible. So similarly, fintech cannot just say that, okay, tomorrow you may talk about a blockchain solution is going to come. Blockchain is a solution, is a medium. It cannot be in isolation. A fintech cannot prepare a platform, cannot prepare a mobile solution. Today, the biggest problem is a new type of real estate, which I call as the mobile real estate, MRE. Your mobile phone is a real estate in itself. So many dumps in it, and it's going to cost you 2 GB RAM, 4 GB RAM, 8 GB RAM. Your computer doesn't have those much RAM as your phone is having. It's the 64 GB and 128 GB because it's become a real estate. Everybody is happy to give an app. As a customer, ask me, do I really care? I say, sorry, boss, I don't care. I don't want so many apps. Probably China has mastered that app, saying that I'll give you one app, the entire country is in it. So probably that is something what is required. One app, and that app is not an aggregator. Sorry, when I talk about an integrated program, I disassociate myself from a fintech or an insurtech solution, and I associate myself from an aggregator business. I'm saying an integrated program where I am a fan of Seven Habits book, where it said have a win-win situation and think of the end. What is the end solution? As DR rightly said some time back, saying that idea is good. If you don't execute, it doesn't make sense. So I hope that I answered the question. Fintech is required, and fintech is not an alternative.
Absolutely.
Today, fintech is not an alternative. Fintech is not a choice. It's a platform which will be needed. And after some time, you're going to forget. Today, people don't use the word search engine. They just say Google. Google it. I'm not advertising Google over here. Okay, so that is the reality. Search engine is there. Artificial intelligence and ML, that is the machine learning which we are using so frequently these days, are not going to be choices. They will become a part and parcel of our lives. And
So
all will
wellness
play a
is
role.
wellness is one and fintech is a rest one.
Fitness,
Second
it's a part of it.
part of it. Okay.
So wellness is one program. It's not it's a product, a big product in itself. It's a program. And
Ganesh,
I'll tell you
sorry.
one thing. In fact, I just like to say, recently I had gone to one seminar, one exhibition. It was called as I don't want to name the organizer, etc. A big organizer, a well-known one. It was a big seminar, an exhibition which spoke about wellness and health exhibition, etc. When I went over there, what did I see? About 28 stalls. Somebody selling a massager, somebody selling an oil, somebody selling an Ayurvedic jadi booty, somebody having a spa solution over there, somebody having a beautiful automatic massager chair saying that this will give you relief, somebody giving a pain relief, somebody giving you a health resort, interesting, somebody giving you health food, the superfoods. And I was looking at it, I was amazed. I just loved it. I'm saying if everything is wellness, where is wellness in this? Because everything is there, but does a human being have everything together when you want it? It's not there. It's actually not there. So can we do it? Because last 6 months I've been talking to various people. I've been talking to the best of diagnostic centers. They're all saying, my job is this. I'm good at it. It is fair. So everybody is having his piece his pie of business, and they are master. And obviously, that is how it should be, the core business. So what is happening is there are so many core businesses, but and everybody is saying I'm having a wellness program, but that means a business Iyer Stories business solution has to come up and say, can we create an integrated program?
Great.
So thank you so much. I was patient. When the marketing people sit together, even hour is not adequate to cover up the subject, but airtime is always a constraining factor, and it is indeed a treat to listen to all of you. I would like to cover up a few points. Ganesh, as usual, you are an outstanding in your own field, and so as you are here. This proceeding will not be complete. It will not be completed if we do not acknowledge Gauri Kothari, Sudhir Bagaria, Anju Jain, Gracia De Guevara, Jayesh Goyal, and a lot many people, those who conveyed their wishes, and Rajan Sharma, Dinesh Arora, Shobha Dora, Rahul Dar. We thank you so much for joining us today live. When we started, there is a heavy rainfall in Bombay today. It was a bit difficult, and for the first time in the history of, in the transmission history of NPAF, there was a delay of half an hour. That was beyond our scope of covering up, as there is a heavy rainfall. Though we established a satellite link, the listeners, those who had to wait to come up to the program, we sincerely apologize to all of them. Mr. Sai is also in the studio. Three gentlemen are talking to you from Bombay. They are easily approachable in Bombay. They can be contacted via the timeline. Their website and address details are available. I was continuously anxious and busy in monitoring the bandwidth, as it's a daunting task to titrate the bitrate rate of audio-visual transmission. But no, as rightly said by Ganesh, he has mastered the skills and in the area of insurance industry in India. And today we have a lot of members from the Western world joining to listen to his views. So Ganesh, would you like to pass on any message or a particular product would you like to highlight today to the people residing here in Canada and US?
Yeah. First of all, happy Canada Day to all the Canadians over there. And today is a Doctor's Day and a Chartered Accountant's Day. So I'm a Chartered Accountant myself, and I have been, last 16 years, I have been among the doctors in the medical field, in the insurance industry. So today is an apt day where Chartered Accountant is akin to business and controls and risk management, and Doctor's Day, so it's about medicine, so and wellness. So can we combine and have an integrated product, okay, to create a real wellness where West and East, we can all talk together, join hands in a collaborative manner, and create a product which is really holistic, because wellness and your body is holistic. You cannot have a body which is in parts, saying that, okay, I will give a medicine only for my head and rest automatically will be taken care of. So if your body is holistic, if our life is holistic, from birth to death, entire cycle, if we create an integrated product with all these industries, again I repeat, the pharmacy industry, the medical equipment industry, the health insurance industry, the life insurance industry, the wellness industry, the diagnostic industry, and the hospital industry, if all of us come together and create a small solution to start with, we can really do wonders, and it will be a new ball game altogether where we'll change the life cycle of human being. And that's one of my dreams.
No, very well articulated and very well said. Dear viewers, those who are listening this proceedings, we are into the transmission, global transmission business for almost 2.5 years. We successfully conducted several programs with the kind support of Sai Sudha Patru, who is smiling and supporting. He is an adherent believer of this live transmission program. We look forward to have more participation from Dominican Republic, other parts of the world where he has his extended spread. And Sai, would you like to pass on any message in Spanish or any other to other territories? Because I can see not only Canada but all over the world, several participants are joining us from Europe as well. And Ms. Gracia is continuously, yes, from Uttaranchal, Dr. Naveen Chandra Joshi is incidentally, his name is also like Mr. D.R. Joshi. He is also sharing our proceedings live on his timeline in northern India. So this is getting a compounding reach globally. It's like it's everywhere. So Sai, would you like to pass on any message, please?
Yeah. In Spanish, there's two words, todos bien, means all are good. So that is wellness, So thanks a lot for joining us, and thanks a lot from NPF, INC Canada, and Mundial Pharma, and thanks a lot to Mr. Ganesh Iyer and Dr. Joshi, and we're looking forward for more topics and more thoughts and more skillful thoughts in coming days. Looking forward.
Yeah, one more point I would like to add here, that when we started the proceedings, we were late by half an hour because of the rainy season at Bombay. And there is a massive echo that had to, actually we had to drill, but this rain not only delayed, but it gave us a very limited scope to fine tune the voice and transmission channel. So there is a bit of an echo in the beginning, but when we release the final version of today's proceedings, we will try to mask those conversations. When DR starting with initial speech of introductory speech of DR to halfway 7 minutes, there are 7 minutes of echo is there that we are aware of, but subsequent proceedings were the voice is crystal clear. I can see a lot of feedback coming from all over the world. And this particular documentary will stay on different media. We are live on Timeline of Ganesh. Dear viewers, this is just not a Facebook Live when you put a camera in front of you. We use cutting-edge technology with cutting-edge server. Our satellite technology can pull the data from any part of the world. If you are flying in the aircraft, we have the mechanism. We can hold your interview in aircraft as well. Subject to you should have the proper networking there. So we want to bring the people on the same platform. This is just not a Facebook Live or a YouTube Live. You sit in front of camera. It's a well-defined, very well-organized program. We market the programs well, and we kindly request all of you to get in touch with Ganesh, to get in touch with Mr. D.R. Joshi if you want to appear. Make good preparations and speak to Mr. Sai Patro. Fulfill the obligations, fulfill the requirements. We are looking for more advertisers. Today we missed a couple of them, but we will try to cover them up in the next program. And we wish to have a global reach in the segment of healthcare industry by hosting many such programs. Dr. Joshi, would you like to add on something to this?
Yeah, there's nothing much to add, but I was really impressed by thought process of Mr. Ganesh. One thing I was really shocked to listen that our ancestors used to live 100 years and now people are living 140 odd years, which I disagree to agree with him. In fact, the lifespan has gone up from 62 to 92 for Indians.
Could be that, dear, could that be the contextual?
I'll take only half a minute. This is perhaps, I feel it is an outcome of the insurance industry, which always are not most reluctant people to accept this fact because they do not want participation of 70, 75 plus people for their healthcare. This is my feeling, because with statistics I can talk that it is going leaps and bounds up.
Okay, point taken, point taken. But
My viewpoint.
I
Yeah.
got your point. But
Just to
yeah.
clarify, when I said 40, that means I was saying that it's sad to see people dying at the age of 40.
Okay, fine, but it is, in fact,
And
it
they're
is
not
going up,
exceptional.
Ganesh.
Numbers are going up. Okay, I'm not talking about average Indians. Okay.
That's fine, but
Okay, accept.
in an intellectual debate, disagreement is a
Yeah.
sign of
Yeah.
involvement in the subject. And Patra, would you like to pass on any message to our potential candidates, because enrollment is huge? We have in our program we have. Let me remember the name, Sangeeta Paul. She is an iconic celebrity in northern India. She climbed the Everest at the age of 53. Even we have some interest from Mrs. Menka Gandhi's office. We have interest with Human Resource Development of India. We have enrollment coming through Micro Vegan television channel from United Kingdom. Let me clarify this also, that by default it has happened that most of the Indians are enrolling. This program is not specifically designed for a country or a nation. Had this been a facility at India, probably Westerners would have been enrolled more, because people are trying to penetrate into other market as well, with the least efforts, without flying down to a place. So by default, more Indians are enrolling, and we welcome them. We have Microvegan, Mr. Bill and Ms. Mirvin also enrolled for the program. A few days ago, we brought in Ms. Dr. Amina Garib Fakim live from Morocco. That was the agreement we have had with the Morocco television channel. So we wish to bring many such programs in healthcare industry. We kindly request you to contact each one of them appearing on the screen, either Ganesh or Dia Joshi or to Sai Patro. They reside in Bombay, and we will be happy to work with you to felicitate you in our studio, and we would like to broadcast many such programs. Sai, any word from?
Many thanks to our all viewers, and always we will try best to bring as much new topics, new speakers to this forum, and very soon we will publish our new webinar dates and with new speakers. And many thanks.
Dear Joshi, any word of blessing from you? Because without your blessing, the program will not complete. You are as elegant as you were when we were stepping up.
Almighty with you always to bless you, sir.
When we were stepping up the ladder of so-called success, you were there as a founding pillar. And we cannot forget your contribution to make us feel confident, to bring out the best of the talent from the people working with you. You were a team leader at that point in time, and you are as elegant as you are. So what I mean to tell you is, we have the best of the best, and Ganesh is indeed. Ganesh, you made a lot of points. We will be developing small AVs that you can send to your potential subscriber as well, right? And we will be in touch. Edited version will be posted on NPF network in a day or two, my friend. Any message from you, Ganesh?
No, just I think a lot of messages have been given. Thank you to you, Dr. Pranav Bhatt, to you, Sai Sudha Patro, for organizing this program, sponsoring this program, and DR for his wonderful thought process. I had a good time talking to him the other day, and I was happy that he's anchoring this program. And thank you to all the audience who are watching live right now. And I'm sure subsequently also somebody would be watching this. I just want you all to think about wellness, because as a common man, as a human being, whatever I said is something which is going to hit all of us. We need to take care of us, and wellness is required. It's not about obesity, it's not about weight loss, it's about health totality. And to all our business partners who are looking into this area, so Iyer Explorers Business Solutions, with his open arms is saying that let's do something in this. Let's crack it. Thank you.
Yeah, world is all about collaboration, collaboration, and collaboration. Nobody can live in isolation. Nobody can sustain. This is the place and this is the world where geographical boundaries are extincted, and we need to put hand in hand to walk together. Point taken.
And to NPFInc Canada.
Oh,